Hey guys, this is TheEnder, and this is going to be set 3 from the Sonic Sbenu Superfight number 3. This is going to be the match between Zero and C, and once again, it's game number 3 in the best of 5. C is currently up, 2 games to nothing, and I'm trying to remember, what is this? Is this Mist? Maybe? But alright, spawning in the 3 o'clock position, our yellow Terran is going to be C. And spawning in the 9 o'clock position, our red Zerg. Ooh, he's going for a 4 pool! So Zero going for the 4 pool. Of course, since you start with 50 minerals, you know, if you don't see a larva, like the second you see the Zerg, you know, if you don't see the larva morphing into a new drone, they are going for the, you know, the 4 pool. To put it simply, this is the fastest rush you can do in StarCraft, unless you're just going to like attack with your first 4 SCVs against their drones. So this is, you know, hyper aggressive. A whole lot of players will say a lot of bad things about, you know, if you're a Zerg player and you do this type of strategy, you know, Zerg cheese. But this is a highly leveraged attack. When the Zerglings get here, there will be 6 Zerglings, and there will be, you know, we'll say 10 SCVs. Back home, there's only going to be 3 drones for pretty much the rest of the game for Zero. I mean, economically speaking, he will have almost no economy to speak of. I mean, that's okay. He made like 1 or 2 more, but still, that's the point is, this is an all-in. As far as what to do, it doesn't look. There's an engineering bay block, which is terrible. So of course, the engineering bay block is a cost-effective way to block the hatchery for the Zerg, because their Zerg would have to pull drones to, you know, to attack it to cancel it. But of course, he has no intention of building a hatchery, so that's just wasted minerals. That just means that the barracks is going to be later than it should be. So I think C just saw those Zerglings and he's like, oh shit. So he cancels the eBay block, and he's gonna come in here. Alright, he's pulling the SCVs. He is gonna try his hardest to keep the Zerglings from getting past the top of the ramp. Oh, he needs. Alright, so alright, it's a nice drill, but he didn't do any attack actually. Alright, so there's a good drill, and he's doing some. I think we've seen 1 Zergling, 2 Zerglings go down, and 2 SCVs go down. However, the SCVs are getting more and more damaged, and they don't self-heal. So, alright, that's about it. So, of course, the intention is to hold the top of the ramp. So, because all you really need to do is get the barracks to finish, get a Marine out, and hold the top of the ramp. And you know, that's hypothetically what you would do. But because of the engineering bay block, I mean, it was just way too late of a Marine. So, so when 1 Marine lives and there's 5 SCVs, which is probably actually more than the drones, but I mean the production is just so much in the Zerg's favor, since the Zerg can produce 2 Zerglings at once, and the Terran really has to use his SCVs just to block the ramp. I'm sort of surprised he's actually scouting with this SCV rather than doing something like important like mining or blocking the ramp. Alright, it's still a steady stream of Zerglings, 2 at a time. And that SCV is going to go down. Chances are he's just going to count the drones. Alright, he's counting the drones. He sees that, in fact, 2 extra drones have been made. So Zero is no longer attacking. He's actually going to pull his SCVs back to mining and feel that he's fine with the 4 or so Marines that he has. Alright, so somehow he's actually barely held it off. He took pretty massive casualties. But of course, you know, SCVs are so overpowered. I mean, SCVs are, you know, a worker unit, and yet they have the same attack as a Zergling, and they have, you know, 60% more health than a Zergling, because they have 60 rather than 35 HP. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so as far as who's ahead right now, I don't know. So I mean, normally at this time in the game, you would not have anywhere near this many Marines, and usually you'd have about double the number of SCVs that he has. So, really not sure. I mean, let's be honest. Medic Marine can be so cost efficient. What is this? What is this barracks doing? What? Is he gonna float the barracks outside of the main, build a Marine to scout with, and then like float it back in? Okay, so if you guys are looking for like good Brood War games to watch, there was a game from a really long time ago, back when Boxer was, you know, the king, and Boxer did this attack. They called it like the paratrooper attack, and to put it simply, he did a Marine drop versus a Zerg, but he did it without a starport. and where you say that's not possible, it's like, yes, it was. He went for this crazy timing where it was something like, I don't know how he did it. It was something like you go to up to 11 SCVs, and then you, or something like that, and then literally you make 4 barracks all at once. So it looks like it's going to be some kind of like a 14cc opening, because you don't build your barracks until late. But then, like I said, you build like 4 barracks all at the same time. And he did it on this map where the mains were actually pretty close together by air, but far by ground. And so then he just floated all 4 racks that finished at pretty much the same time into the Zerg base. And he actually won that game. It was just so nuts. Because the Zerg saw it, but he didn't have enough lings to stop it. So the first round was like, I think, Fire Bats, and then after that he made Medic Marine. And all of a sudden, the Sunken or 2 that was at the front of the Zerg's base was completely worthless. And, it was just a hilarious game. But you should search for that. It was, like I said, Boxers, Paratroopers. Great game. Alright, so the Zerg is at 2 base. He's getting his natural saturated. Second gas on the way, so he's probably already getting the lair. On the other side, our Terran is getting his natural. However, he's going to have really low SCV saturation compared to normal. It looks like he's actually transferring a whole lot of his SCVs. Interesting. So we have a den before the spire. That's a slightly different opening. But yeah, so because that expansion is relatively late, it's actually a really good idea. That I think what C did was he actually transferred like more SCVs than normal from his main to his natural. Because like I said, his main was probably a little bit more mined than normally you would have at that time. So to even it out, you just transfer more than average. But yeah, it looks a little bit more like a standard mid game. So both players on 2 bases. Zerg is getting his 3rd base pretty soon. Sunken's in the front, and Spire and Hydroden. So of course I should point out this map. I believe it's called Mist. That map that the bridge that the Marines are on right now. It's a funky bridge. In that, pretty much, if you're on the bridge and you're a ground unit, you don't have vision other than like right next to your units. So it can be a little bit funny when both sides have armies and you literally just accidentally run straight into the enemy army early in the game. Alright, C is looking for an attack. With 3 Sunkens, he can't really do anything. I mean, he can try it, but even with good focus fire, he's not going to make it. And then also, might be Mutas on the way. Alright, yeah. So, 7 Mutas so far, 8 Mutas. We'll see if they get joined up with by any more. So, of course, I gotta point out, because I think Zero did something wrong right there. I mean, yes, he sniped the medic, and since there's only 2 medics with that force, that's a good idea. But I mean, it was in a straight line, and when you see a straight line army like that, you always want to attack it from one of the ends, never the middle. Because that means usually, you know, only a third or so of the army will be able to attack you. You know, you gotta attack perpendicular to them, not parallel to them. But alright, he picked off the medic. It was a good pick off, because it was the medic. And so yeah, the army is forced to retreat. Alright, so we got another control group and a half of Zerglings. It looks like Zergling Speed just finished, just now. So yeah, he's probably going to look to hunt down that army if he can find it. In the meantime, C is looking for his third base, but it's sort of a hidden third base at that 1 o'clock position. Alright, Hydras are morphing into lurkers. Second control group of Medic Marine. Alright, here it is. The mutas need to do more work. Man, Zero needs to work on his muta micro. I mean, yes, I'm not sure if he lost any mutas in that engagement, but I mean, he really could have done it a little bit more cleanly. He let the Zerglings fight the Marines by themselves for a bit too long. Usually the idea when you go for mutaling... yeah, when you go for mutaling, what you want to do is, you know, you attack first with the mutas, and a good Terran player will actually try to focus fire the mutas down, because if you don't focus fire them, all the mutas will take a little bit of damage, and then the mutas will just regen it. So a good Terran player will focus fire them. But the point is, then you zip in, you do the shot, they focus fire, you A-move in the Lings, so the Marines will try to chase the mutas when the mutas run away, and then they run straight into the Lings. So the Lings get to close with the Marines for free and start doing their really good damage compared to their cost. But in that one, it was just, oh here, Lings are going to attack your Marines, the Marines beat the Lings, and then the mutas went to clean it up since there was only one medic and everything had stemmed at least once. It's not as clean as it could have been, but... Alright, lurkers are out. Third base still safe, and with lurkers at the top of the ramp, that third base is going to stay safe. So Zero's going for a fourth, and yeah, science vessel is still pretty far away. Science facility just started. Man, I really expected this game to just end, with that 4-pool versus engineering bay block. And I guess it is true that there was definitely a pretty large advantage for 4-0 in this game. I mean, if you look at the usual timings, I mean, the Hive is already on the way. He's going up to 4 bases, and there's barely been one push from C. So I guess there was an advantage, that he got, but it's really still super hard to, call one person a definite favorite in this game. Alright, since there's still about 6 mutas left, keeping them with the army, they're going to help push back the science vessel, hunt down any dropships, and of course, since they are air units, they're not going to stack and interfere with the Zerglings and Lurkers on the ground, so they're really nice for tanking. Zero has seemed to favor a pretty heavy Zergling style of play, which, I mean, if you can control it, the Zerglings are super cost-effective. I mean, I really think C should really just get like a single, dropship and just be super annoying with his ranged medic marine. Since you see all these mineral lines that could be harassed by, just a couple of marines behind them. Alright, here we go. Big push. Tanks are siege, so he's already expecting a fight. It looks like Zero was thinking about a flank coming in from both the north and south. But no. Alright. Oh, here come the reinforcements. So the reinforcements are going to fight the southern flank, and the main army is going to fight the northern flank. Not sure. It looks, I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like C just has by far the overwhelming army. I mean... Alright, but here it is. The lurkers are closing. The lurkers need to get underground. Alright, the lurkers get underground, but they're a little bit far back. They won't be able to attack the Marines if the Marines retreat. However, the Marines are not retreating. Terran Army gets shredded. Oh, man. Oh, man. Medic Marine versus Lurker. It's just not fun. Alright, here's another control group of Medic Marine, but once again, they need to retreat. Yeah, that's how you do it. You stim your Marines, you hit the Lurkers when the Lurkers try to charge. As soon as the Lurkers burrow, you retreat, and you just rinse and repeat. You turn the distance between your base and the Lurkers into just free damage on the Lurkers. But alright, that single hero siege tank is going to push Lurkers back. That science vessel needs to watch out because there's Scourge in the area. Yeah, that's a lot of Lurkers. A single medic and like 2 full control groups of Marines. What? And the one medic's like, no, I got this. Brave medic. Alright, so there's the Defiler. So, I mean, really, I'd say, 1 Dark Swarm to push through this little army here, and game's over. Alright, they're going for it. Lurkers go underground, way too far away. But we do have the Dark Swarm, so the position is going to be lost. Oh, those Marines are getting split. Very nice splitting from C. I mean, if he tried to retreat those Marines over that Lurker under the Dark Swarm, he would have lost even more. And with that siege tank on the high ground, I like that siege tank on the high ground. That's very nice. Unfortunately, Zero's on 4 gas. And 4 gas is pretty scary when you got Hive Tech already out. Alright, here's the dropship. It's going for the main, but there's already Scourge waiting. Looks like it's going around the Scourge, so it might just get lucky. What? There was Scourge there a second ago. Where'd they go? But there's 2 Sunkens in the main. So it looks like Zero knew he was pretty far ahead, and he's like, the only way I could lose this if there's a drop in my main. So, the drop will land, but it's being slowed down heavily by the Sunkens. Dropship goes down. We saw a science vessel go down near the frontier. Is that what we want to call it? The frontier? The front? Is to say like a war front, is that short for frontier? Alright, we got some hero Marines there. I don't know how many kills they had, but they did quite well. Oh, so that really, that one group that I was saying that C did such a good job, splitting it rather than running it into the Lurkers. He just ran into the Lurkers. Oh no, no! Marines, what are you doing? What are you doing? Not sure what was going on there. Oh man, even the high ground tank got taken out. What were you doing? Alright, so C has shown us, some of the things you want to try to not do. Alright, Zerglings are just completely roasting those. They don't roast, they don't have the flamethrowers. But yeah, the Zerg is crushing through. He's got 2 armor. Nice upgrade. Added to the Dark Swarm, which is like 100 armor. And these Marines, I don't know why they keep pushing forward. But alright, so that's going to be game. So Zero's going to take game number 3, and we're heading on to game number 4. It's a best of 5, currently 2-1 in C's favor. I will see you there.